what does teaching financial responsibility and stewardship look like in your homes? Because Michelle and I obviously are in different seasons of life. This was such a really good question. So Michelle, if you want to go from the little side, I love what you do with the boys and Shay soon. And then I'll talk to the teenager side.
Okay, so if you are not familiar with our kids and our ages, I know that Summer looks younger than me, but her kids are older. And so it's just because she's cooler and dresses cooler, and it's never going to happen for me, and it's fine. But she is a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school. Mm-hmm. And so those are her kids, her two girls. They're wonderful. And then my oldest is 8, my middle's 5, and then my youngest is 2.5. And so I think for us, what we want to do is we want to teach them that right now, like, is it necessarily important for them to understand how to balance a checkbook or anything like that? Right now, what I think the hardest habits to change later in life are when they're young, everything is given to you and you're not aware of sacrifices that go into when gifts are given to you or when financial provision is made. And then you automatically have to swap into being responsible, understanding that things cost, and then also generosity. And so while our kids are little, the thing that I really want them to understand is how important generosity is. And so we want them to get generosity young. We want that to be a value for them young. We want that ingrained into them so that no matter how much they're financially blessed or how tight their finances are when they're older, that they value generosity and they value being generous. And so we focus on generosity as a family. We talk about being generous as a family. We want to give them opportunities, not just for mom and dad to write a check, but for them to actually go and serve and see the importance of that. And so one of the things that I can tell you that we've done with our kids that I think was one of the most powerful things is, if you guys don't have young kids anymore, please tell me you at least remember the season when stuffed animals took over your house. Okay?
Yes.
So we had so many stuffed animals. I was like, okay, we have got to do something with these. And of course, my oldest, who hates change more than anybody I know, and I was unaware it was possible to hate change more than my husband, but he does. And so he has these things that is every stuffed animal is important and valuable, and he remembers who gave it to him, where he was, what he was wearing, and why it's significant. And so it's hard to just tell him, you don't even remember where that's from. He does, so you can't even argue with him like that. But I said, I want you guys to keep a couple that are really important to you, but we're going to take the rest and we're going to donate them to a children's home that's here. And I didn't think that my kids would actually be allowed to give them to the other kids, but the way that it worked out, they said, do they want to, give it to them? And I was like, are you serious? That would be awesome. Like, I would love for them to be able to see it. And so my oldest was 5 when we did this, and a boy twice his age came up to him crying and gave him a hug because he had never had a teddy bear before.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, 10 years old boy crying because he had never had a teddy bear before. And so, like, those are the financial lessons that matter, that our kids need to be able to see from a young age. And so don't necessarily put your focus on, okay, gonna give you $10 now, we got to take $1 to church. It's not that that's bad, but I just think that them seeing the heart and having that value and being able to do it themselves is such just a beautiful picture when they're little.